Good news. Philippines gets 2 brutal monster warships, grant from U.S. Today, 2 Cyclone-class patrol vessels transferred from the U.S. were commissioned into the Philippine Navy at the service's headquarters. Philippine and American officials attended the ceremony, which is the latest transfer of defense assets under Washington's efforts to bulk up Manila's naval forces amid regional tensions in the South China Sea. BRP Valentin Diaz, PS 177, and BRP Ladislao Diwa, PS 178, formerly USS Monsoon, PC 4, and USS Chinook, PC 9, were transferred to the Philippines in April immediately after being decommissioned from active U.S. service. They were the last Cyclones in the U.S. Navy until their transfer, marking an end to the patrol ship's American service history. Now named after Filipino heroes, they will continue to serve. From April to August, the ships were made ready for Philippine service. Some sensors and equipment, such as satellite communications, SATCOM, were removed prior to the transfer, but the ships themselves were refurbished. In Philippine service, BRP Valentin Diaz and BRP Ladislao Diwa will join BRP General Mariano Alvarez, PS 38, the former lead ship of the Cyclone-class USS Cyclone, PC 1, which was transferred in 2004. Altogether, the 3 will be known as the Alvarez-class patrol vessels. They will serve in the Littoral Combat Force, the Philippine Fleet's command responsible for coastal defense, littoral patrol, and interdiction missions. All of the former U.S. Navy Cyclones were donated to the Philippines via excess defense articles. This program transfers used U.S. assets to partners at a reduced price or a grant. In May, the U.S. announced its intentions to transfer 4 former U.S. Coast Guard patrol boats, bringing the total amount of patrol vessels transferred or to be transferred this year up to 6. From a sinking exercise off western Luzon at the Balacaden drills to 4 new enhanced defense cooperation agreement sites, and the first ever trilateral Philippines-US-Japan Coast Guard exercise, American-Philippine defense ties have deepened amid regional tensions with China. Transfers of equipment and pledges of material and training support have been offered to Manila over the last year by other partners, such as Japan, Australia, India, and Canada. Last week, BRP Jose Rizal, FF-150, and USS Ralph Johnson, D-G-114, conducted a joint sail in the West Philippine Sea. According to press releases, the purpose of the sail was to train in division tactics, the maneuvering of vessels in a formation. This activity marked progress on the joint SCS Patrol Manila and Washington plan to do before the end of the year. The transfer of 2 Cyclone-class patrol vessels, BRP Valentin Diaz, PS 177, and BRP Ladislao Diwa, PS 178, into the Philippine Navy marks a significant milestone in the evolving defense partnership between the United States and the Philippines. This event, held at the Philippine Navy headquarters, was attended by high-ranking officials from both nations, underscoring the deepening military cooperation between the 2 allies amid rising tensions in the South China Sea. Formerly known as USS Monsoon, PC 4, and USS Chinook, PC 9, these patrol vessels were decommissioned from U.S. Navy service in April before being officially transferred to the Philippine Navy. Their transition symbolizes the final chapter in the American service history of the Cyclone-class patrol ships, once crucial assets in the U.S. Navy's littoral operations. Prior to their induction into Philippine service, the ships underwent necessary refurbishments and the removal of certain equipment, such as satellite communications, SATCOM, to align with their new operational requirements. Now part of the Philippine Fleet's Littoral Combat Force, BRP Valentin Diaz and BRP Ladislao Diwa joined BRP General Mariano Alvarez, PS 38, the former USS Cyclone PC 1, which was transferred in 2004. Together, these vessels constitute the newly designated Alvarez-class patrol vessels, tasked with bolstering the country's coastal defense, maritime security, and interdiction capabilities. This transfer is facilitated under the Excess Defense Articles (EDA) program, which enables the United States to provide used military assets to allied nations at reduced costs or as grants. In addition to these patrol ships, Washington has pledged 4 more former U.S. Coast Guard patrol boats, bringing the total number of vessels transferred or planned for transfer in 2024 to 6. This increased assistance is indicative of America's commitment to enhancing Manila's maritime defense capabilities in light of persistent security challenges in the region. Recent military engagements between the Philippines and the United States further highlight the strengthening of their defense ties. Notably, the Balikatan drills included a sinking exercise off the coast of western Luzon, demonstrating joint operational readiness. Additionally, the establishment of 4 new Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement (EDCA) sites and the historic trilateral Philippines-US-Japan Coast Guard exercise reflect an expanding security network among key Indo-Pacific partners. Other allies, including Japan, Australia, India, and Canada, have also extended support through various forms of military assistance, training programs, and equipment transfers, reinforcing the Philippines' position in regional security dynamics. Last week's joint sale between BRP Jose Rizal, FF-150, and USS Ralph Johnson, DDG-114, in the West Philippine Sea served as another concrete step toward the planned joint South China Sea patrols by Manila and Washington, anticipated to take place before the end of the year. These developments collectively signify a strategic shift in regional security cooperation, with the Philippines at the center of an increasingly interconnected defense framework. As tensions in the South China Sea continue to escalate, such collaborations serve to reaffirm mutual commitments to regional stability, freedom of navigation, and the preservation of international maritime law.